Oh, welcome into Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. I apologize that I spelled Tuesday wrong on the title card.
No.
I was busy. Yeah, just
fortunately, I didn't see it.
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
No, it's just Tuesday.
Top 5 Tuesday?
Top 5 Tuesday. So anyway, we are live from
Singular two.
Exactly. We're live from the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame. Enjoy
Tennessee Port.
Yeah, no S's. Just no S's today. Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame. And you guys can come hang out at the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame for free all month long, thanks to the Tennessee Lottery. Always a pleasure for Brad Willis and the fine folks here to allow us to have a spot. And we are so glad to have you guys with us as we sit across from the Pat Summit Gallery here and look forward to a great show, and a great show that we have indeed. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun. We get a chance to talk to some old friends, new friends. Friends in general. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic that we're sitting across from the Pat Summit Gallery because I'm sure the Tennessee Lady Vols will come up at some point over the course of this show.
Perhaps. So we'll talk with Pete Weber. We'll also visit with Chip Walters, as we do on Tuesdays when it's Tuesday and we talk to him. And we'll also talk, of course, with Terry McCormick. All of that coming your way here in just a few moments. But, yeah, looking forward to a good show. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a lot of great topics to get into. Mr. Football, Heisman, Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year, finalist announced. College football has a lot going on in the transfer portal, but also a new potential rule that we may mention and hopefully get to dive into a little more tomorrow. But all of that is coming your way here in just a few moments on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. This is the Mobile Lee Company studio, again at the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame. So we've got a great show. We'll get to it, but first we're going to get you yesterday's results and today's schedule on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
Girls basketball action from Monday night. Shelbyville defeated Centennial 52-27. Culleoka defeated Huntland 43-37 in a game in which Culleoka senior Macy McKinnon went over the 1,000-point mark for her career, so congratulations to her. Murfreesboro Central with a 53-37 win over Eagleville. Spring Hill defeated Giles County 74-52. Cheatham County with a 69-47 win over Greenbrier. Cane Ridge defeated Independence 58-44. Portland with a 57-30 win over Joe Burns. It was McEwen 47, Montgomery Central 8, and Whites Creek 49, Hunters Lane 16. In boys action on Monday night, Baylor defeated Pope Prep 73-69. Centennial with a 77-67 win over Shelbyville. Second win for Centennial over Shelbyville in a few weeks, going back to the second round of the Class 5A state football playoffs. Hookville 52, Green Hill 42, Huntland 85, Culleoka 62, Murfreesboro Central defeated Eagleville 48-43, Father Ryan 69, Overton 61, Giles County 67, Spring Hill 19, Greenbrier 50, Cheatham County 38. Another milestone in Independence's 75-54 win over Cane Ridge as Jet Montgomery jetted past, as Chip Cirillo said. Jetted past the 2,000-point mark. Coverage of that by Chip Cirillo at MainStreetMurray.com. Portland 60, Joe Burns 28, McEwen 47, Montgomery Central 43, and Mount Juliet Christian with a 65-50 win over Dayspring Academy.
High school basketball tonight. These are all double headers starting at 6 o'clock unless otherwise noted. Kip Nashville's at Antioch Beach welcomes Rockville. Providence Christian goes to Battleground Academy, and Brentwood's at Cascade. That's interesting. It's an interesting one there. White House Heritage is at Cheatham County. Clarksville welcomes Kenwood, while Clarksville Northwest welcomes Kirkwood. That can be confusing. University School in Nashville is at Columbia Academy tonight. Donaldson Christian is at home against Clarksville Academy. Rossby goes to Dixon County. Laverne is at East Nashville. Greenbrier at East Robinson. Glencliff welcomes McGavick. Friendship Christian's at Good Pasture. Franklin Road Academy is at Grace Franklin. Harper is at home against Liberty Creek. Page goes to Hendersonville, and Springfield at Henry County. Columbia Central will be at Hickman County. Hume Fogg welcomes Station Camp, while Hunters Lane's at home against Gallatin. Blackman goes to Lebanon. Ravenwood plays visitor to Lipscomb Academy, and Loretto at home against Richland.
That should be a good ball game.
It should.
Yeah. Also at 6 o'clock, doubleheader action as Westmoreland is at Macon County. Franklin is at Marshall County. Sorry. I got confused there. Hillsborough is at Martin Luther King. Joe Burns goes to Montgomery Central. Moore County hosts Culleoka. Siegel travels to Mount Juliet. Nashville Christian takes on visiting Ezel Harding. Fairview is at Nolensville. Zion Christian is not at Richland.
No, they're not.
McEwen is at Santa Fe. Riverdale travels to Smyrna. Spring Hill hosts Summertown. Murfreesboro Central is at Stewart's Creek. Stewart County goes to Sycamore. Creekwood goes north of the border, taking on Todd County Central of Kentucky. Oakland is at Upperman. Merrill Hyde is at Valor Collegiate. Watertown hosts Lead Academy. Clarksville Northeast is at West Creek. Pearl Cone is at White House. And Mount Pleasant is at Zion Christian. Again, all of those are double headers. All of those are girls. Starts at 6, boys to follow. Girls only. Webb is at Father Ryan. That's a 5 o'clock start. At 5:30, Summit is at Harpeth Hall. And at 6, St. Cecilia Academy is at Knowledge Academies. Boys only game, 6 o'clock. Webb at Middle Tennessee Christian.
Men's basketball tonight. Tennessee at 5:30 will play host to George Mason on ESPN+. Middle Tennessee State at the Glass House at 6:30 tonight against Missouri State. That's also on ESPN+. Cumberland goes to Indiana Tech. Austin Peay's at home against Midway. Fisk is at Freed Hardeman, and Christian Brothers are at Trevecca. Austin Peay, Fisk, and Trevecca at 7 p.m. tonight. At 6 o'clock tonight on the women's side, Fisk is at Tuna, the University of North Alabama, at 6 o'clock. And on Valley Sports South, or wherever you like to listen to your hockey, it's the Preds at the Blackhawks at 7:30. Puck drop tonight. And that, folks, is your rundown. Top stories brought to you by our friends at Piggly Wiggly, Neely's Mill Shopping Center in Columbia. Make sure to go by there if you are looking for lunch. They've got fantastic lunch specials. They've got cobblers, meats, vegetables, your choices. Whatever you want to do, your combo, and they'll make it work for you. We've also got fresh hand-cut meats, great produce, and it's all cost plus 10% at the register. That's, again, Neely's Mill Shopping Centers, Piggly Wiggly in Columbia. Proud sponsors of our top story. And today, our top story, well, one of the reasons we're in downtown Nashville again for the second time in 2 weeks, Mo.
It's not even been, has it even been 2 weeks? So it was
It has
last
not.
Wednesday.
It has not.
Second time in a week.
And
Yeah,
thanks
we
to
like
the-
battling the traffic, right?
it's the worst part, but it is what it is. And we do it for you guys so that you will be as up to date as possible with the most timely and comprehensive coverage of sports from preps to pros. That wasn't a promo, but
That's what
maybe
that's kind of
cut
what we
that out.
did.
Maybe cut that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Tennessee Titans Mr. Football Awards were announced just a couple of hours ago by the Vought and friend of the show, Mike Keith.
Along with Tennessee Titans general manager Rand Carthon, who is now the proud owner of some stickers.
Hashtag Rand has a plan. Gotta love that.
Right.
I love that we were able to finally get him a couple Rand has a plan stickers.
And I love that he loved them.
Yo, he was very, very impressed and appreciative of the stickers and of the support, it
Yes.
appears.
Yes.
But
Maybe not necessarily in that order.
no doubt. Hey man, we got your back here at Main Street Sports today. Come on the show sometime. That's all I'm saying.
Start asking for his number. Thought it might be a
Yeah, we were there. We were close. But yeah,
10.
That's right. 10 awards handed out today, including Kicker of the Year. I forget about Kicker of the Year.
Yeah, till they miss one.
There you go. There you go. We'll start with Class A.
Class 1A in Division 1. The winner was Moore County's Dawson White, winning over Cameron Schlicht of Dresden and Ben Franklin of Cornersville.
Man, Ben Franklin is electric. The key to that offense in Cornersville. I can't help it. I can't help it.
That was one of today's shockers for me.
Really? Who did
Shockers.
who did you think was going to win that?
I
Ben?
thought Ben Franklin was going to
Wow.
win it.
I just thought with the success Moore County had this year that that kid was probably going to win.
Yeah, and maybe it is a little bit more success driven than individual, but that was one of my two that I didn't expect, and we'll get to the other one in a second. In Class 2A, our favorite, Darian Meza of Mount Pleasant, was a finalist, along with Riverside Stone Wallace and East Robertson's Isaiah Groves, who was the ultimate winner.
Yeah, look, Isaiah Groves, it's hard to go wrong with the Groves.
Yeah. Don't say that in Kentucky,
Well, there's that.
because they just
They're not
lost.
happy with him.
Yeah, they're not happy with Elijah Groves, who just decommitted just hours before this announcement.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
we'll get to that in a minute.
Mm-hmm. In Class 3A, Sheffield's Redarius Jackson was the award winner over finalists Skyland Smith of Covington and Brandon Winton Jr. of Alcoa.
I didn't get a chance to talk to the Alcoa folks. I wish
I
I would.
think it's just as well.
I'm sure they would have loved to have had a conversation with me.
I'm sure
I don't
they
know if it would
would
have been a conversation or not.
I'm sure they would have loved to have had something with you. In Class 4A, Pearl Cone's Keyshawn Tarleton won the award over teammate Zion LaFrederick Simpson and Macon County's Gabe Borders. In 5A, Southwind's Kelvin Perkins won over Centennial's Dominic Reed and Stetson wearing Eric Hazard of Page.
Listen, you got to be a bad man to wear a cowboy hat
Hey,
to the Mr. Football Awards. And if this had been if the postseason had been involved, I think he probably wins.
well, John Varlas of the Daily Memphian told me that if he had known Eric Hazard was going to win wear a cowboy hat,
He
may
would have voted for him.
Yes, so maybe that needs to be a question that's asked. What will your attire be?
There was some great attire too.
There was some great attire, absolutely. In Class 6A, Bradley Central's Boo Carter won the award over a pair of Rutherford County performers, Braden Graham of Riverdale and Dwan Morris of Oakland. So in Division 2A, it was
The other shocker.
Jackson Christian Jr. Jalen Mosley won the award over FACS's Brian Shields and Tyson Walcott of Friendship Christian. He of the 2,800 rushing yards and 52 touchdowns.
That was the shocker of the day for me. It wasn't even close. That's the one that I like. I thought it was a runaway. I thought Walcott had it, and I don't even know why we were showing up.
I was stunned.
And here we are.
I was stunned.
So,
yeah, but hey, in Division 2 Class AA, Christ Presbyterian's Cruz Law won the award. Figured.
Yeah, expected there.
Over Franklin Road Academy's Ty Clark and Knoxville Webb's Marquise Barrett. In Division 2 AAA, it was Baylor receiver and Alabama football commit. And
I keep saying that. Just
well,
makes me more frustrated every time we say it.
Well, I think it probably had an impact. Amari Jefferson won the award over Lipscomb's Caleb Beasley and Macaulay's Carson Gentle. And the kicker of the year went to Knoxville Hall's Owen Taylor over Tullahoma's Grant Chadwick and Mount Juliet's Daniel Echeverria. So congrats to the winners. Congrats to the finalists. They all had fantastic seasons.
Check MainStreetPreps.com. There will be stories on the local winners, and the winners are listed as well on there, but there will be stories on the local winners as well. So again, MainStreetPreps.com has your
Mr. Football coverage.
Mr. Football coverage. All right. Heisman Trophy finalists announced, Mo. And Jaden Daniels joins Marvin Harrison Jr., as well as Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. as the finalists who have been invited to the ceremony in New York City.
When is the ceremony?
The ceremony is going to be Saturday at 8 p.m.
This coming
Eastern.
Saturday?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
At 8 p.m. Eastern in New York on ESPN.
Rank them.
I'm going to have to go Daniels, Penix, Nix, Harrison.
I like that. I wouldn't be surprised if your 1 and 2 are reversed.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
But I think your 3 and 4 are accurate.
I mean, the reason I go Daniels is his rushing numbers are just astronomical.
Yeah, and I think that's a solid pick. I think
he impacts the game a little bit more.
I think both those guys kind of cooled off a little bit down the stretch, though, is my concern.
If Penix's first half and second half on Friday had been flipped, I think he might run away with it. Because he was dominant in the first half. I mean, to the point where I tweeted, "Stop the count, give it to him."
Not a stop the count.
Like it was just he was by far the best football player on the field, and to me at that point looked like the best quarterback in the country, no questions asked. Bo Nix comes out in the second half and plays really, really well. A lot of that thanks to Jordan James of Oakland fame. The run game had not been there in the first half. They go with James in the second half. He's able to get, maybe draw those linebackers and safeties up a little bit. Nix is able to have a little bit better second half. Penix was basically a game manager in the second half. It was, we need to win this thing, but Dylan Johnson was the workhorse in the second
closer.
Half. Had those two, had they been flipped, I think Penix might have run away with it if he goes out and wins the game in the second half. But that being said, I still think that performance puts him over Nix in the pecking order. I think Harrison had a great year for a receiver, but I don't think it was Heisman type number year, not even close to what Devontae Smith did.
Right.
And so that's why I think
and that's the type season that a receiver has to have to win the Heisman.
So I think Jaden Daniels, I think that just his rushing numbers on top of what he did as a passer give him the edge.
Right.
But I would not be surprised if Michael Penix wins it because he had an extra game to prove it with everybody watching.
Yeah. Well, not everybody. Some people were watching Page and Knoxville
Heisman
West.
voters watching. Put it that way.
Yeah.
So I mean, Heisman voters got a great look at Michael Penix and Bo Nix. And I think that's where the key is.
Yeah, that may be the key.
So
because Bo Nix didn't quite.
He didn't have a bad game. He didn't
have a Penix game.
No, he didn't elevate himself to the point. Now, if they win that game, then Nix might have been your winner. He might have gone from third on the list to first. But I think it's going to end up being Daniels, Penix, Nix, and then Harrison. What about you? You think that's about right?
I think that's about right. I feel like it's either Penix or Daniels, and I tend to lean toward Daniels, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Penix. But I think Nix and Harrison are definitely 3 and 4.
I would certainly agree with you there. All right. Well, those are our top stories again. Thanks to our friends at Piggly Wiggly and Neely's Mill Shopping Center for keeping you guys fed and keeping us with a little change in our pocket, going jingling. We'll take a break.
Let's not call anybody on the telephone and give them a ring.
No, Pete Weber's not going to be on the telephone. He's going to be on the screen.
There we go.
So Top 5 Tuesday is back right after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. live from the Lee Company studio, mobile today, as we are at the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame in downtown Nashville, inside Bridgestone Arena, which is home to a lot of evenings of our next guest.
He spent a lot of time here.
Spent a lot of time here. 2,000
nights.
Well, not
Well,
here,
not all
but
of those, but yeah, maybe
not all
half.
of them, but
1,000 nights.
just about 1,000 nights spent inside Bridgestone Arena for our next guest, and we are looking forward to talking about the Nashville Predators with the voice, Pete Weber. Pete, how are things?
Doing well this afternoon. Thank you. Just fresh back from the United Center and the morning skate and talking with the coach and some of the players and some of my old Chicago buddies here. So it's been a nice day to this point. Let's try and keep it that way.
There we go. Well, Pete, we've not had a chance to talk to you since you reached the milestone. We discussed a couple of milestones during the rundown in the last segment, but 2,000 games on the mic for the Nashville Predators. Congratulations, man. They said it would never last.
Thank you. And it seems like it got to that point very, very quickly in my mind anyway. And maybe not for the listeners, but I hope that's not the case.
Well, congrats. Well deserved, man.
Thank
And here's to 1,000 more.
At least 1,000 more. Exactly.
Absolutely. The last time we spent much time talking about the Preds on these airwaves, it was with Max Hers, and they were in the middle of a bit of a slide. They have come out of that slide and kind of gone into another one. This is kind of an inconsistent team, I guess, Pete.
It's the roller coaster ride, really, is what it has turned out to be. And now I don't know for certain if this is a downturn or if there was just a blip, because I think they played very well against the best club in the league, New York Rangers, on Saturday afternoon, losing by a goal, but still, as they used to say in the classic movies like Slapshot, standing up to them. The peanut vendors were standing up to them, and by God, if I were down there, I'd be standing up to them. But that was the way they played that game against an excellent hockey club. And then they played well enough in Buffalo to come away 2-1 winners on Sunday nights. Now here we are in Chicago, going against a Blackhawks team that has Connor Bedard, best rookie in the league to be certain, maybe one of the best players overall to be certain in their lineup, but they've got a lot of injuries here too.
Yeah, 7-3 over the last 10, and I tweeted that Willie Donick had mentioned, obviously was ahead of the Rangers game about the game, and I tweeted, I said, it would be so Predators if they lost to a team that just fired its coach and then beat the best team in the league, and they darn near did. I mean, a 4-3 loss. They were up 3-1 at one point, but that kind of goes to one of the issues that the Predators are having this year, and that is the one issue that nobody expected. That is our goaltender. Goals expected against UC have risen, and goals he's given up has risen. He's not been the savior as much as he has been in the past. And again, that's not necessarily, he's been really, really better than he should have been over the last few years. He may just finding some, finding a little average in him, but still, that's not the one thing you expected to be struggling with at this point.
Right. He didn't play well in the game against Minnesota. And what a week this was. Back-to-back games against your previous two coaches.
Right.
John Hines coming in with Minnesota and Peter Laviolette with the New York Rangers. Both of those end up as losses, though the Rangers game was better played in many ways. But yeah, that's something that had been a given. And I think that UC has had a record over his career of coming back from bad games. Now let's see if he can continue with that tonight against the Blackhawks.
This Blackhawks team, I think the last time we talked to Willie Donick, they were going to be playing Chicago here.
I believe so.
Yes.
And and obviously there's a rivalry there. I don't know how much Chicago thinks it's a rivalry, but we certainly do. And I don't know how, I don't know how that's reciprocated necessarily on their end. But when when you get these two teams together, especially with Chicago kind of on the upswing, they feel like now's the time to start getting the Preds back for the last few years.
Yeah.
How does this team react and respond to that?
Chicago's downswing began in 2017 when the Predators swept them in the first round of the playoffs and knocked them out. And the Blackhawks organization has spoken to that, saying that the Predators sent them reeling. Now, I'm sure they feel they owe somebody something. Don't you always after you drop a few? But the Predators and the Blackhawks, even from the early days when Terry Crisp and I would come into this building in Chicago, there were so few people, we could hear our voices echo back at us. Then in the interim, they began to fill the building with 20,000 plus. Now it's sort of like they're taking let's see, the Bears stink. The Cubs and White Sox aren't that great. Maybe this is something that we can latch onto right now.
I certainly would love to see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would love to see us continue their downswing. Obviously, they're not going to continue downswing, but the Predators have to find a way to win games against these type teams while Chicago is still relatively down in order to, because again, as good as they've been, back under 500 and not really pushing for a playoff spot. It's early in the year, it's the first third of the season.
All right.
But you want to see this team making improvements throughout the year. And to this point, I feel like they have improved.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And by the way, guys, there's one thing we've got to do on your show logo. We've got to get a puck in there. There's a basketball, there's a football, there's a baseball. Maybe if not a puck, how about Mo brandishes a hockey stick?
As long okay.
I think a puck would probably be easier.
Perhaps.
And more realistic. Yeah.
Most likely.
Me on skates, not so much. But yeah,
you don't have to be on skates to have with a stick. You can do it like the people that participate in Scoro here at Chicago, in between periods.
We can take a look at that.
We need a hockey stick. Justin, can you provide us with one of your former hockey sticks?
Justin has hockey sticks. That's right.
He does.
Yeah. So we've
we'll
got props.
Yeah. And he weighs them in grams rather than pounds. So
because it's a Canadian sport. They use the metric system over there.
Yeah. Yeah. Pete Weber, the voice of the Predators, joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, as the Preds get ready to take on the Blackhawks at the United Center later tonight. Pete, we've talked about, this kind of being a roller coaster for the Predators, but, what did we expect necessarily with a first-year coach and a lot of roster turnover from last year?
A lot of roster turnover that really began the latter third of the year when the youngsters came up from Milwaukee and almost took the team into the playoff field, as it turned out, finishing at 2-3 points out. So this has been the expectations. I don't think were super high, but I think they were at least to be a contender for a playoff spot. And that's not where they stand right now, but they're not that far out of it. So hot streaks here and there could be a great help. But expectations, I don't think were sky high at all. I think it was just trying to be reasonable with the change in the regime, with David Poyle retiring, Barry Trotz coming in and taking his spot, and then Andrew Brunette coming on as head coach and his system. And I think his system has begun to become ingrained in this team a little bit more. They're doing a better job of getting the puck out of their end.
Mark Jankowski, speaking of folks from Milwaukee, is back with the Predators tonight.
Yes, he was back in time for the game Sunday in Buffalo, which was nice for him because he's from nearby Hamilton, Ontario. So while he scrambled for tickets for relatives and so on, he had a good representation at Keystone Arena in Buffalo on Sunday night. And on top of all that, Milwaukee's general manager was down here during the morning skate this morning, reuniting with a number of the players that have been there most recently, because I don't know if there's any situation in the league where the rosters between the farm club and the major league team have been more fluid than these have been.
But that's kind of what you get in this, and we keep using this term, this competitive rebuild that the Predators have been in for the last couple of years. You're going to get that because the young guys need big league ice time in order to be able to help you in, late in the season when you have some injuries and guys are banged up. You got to get them ice time now so that they're not, coming in wide-eyed and bushy-tailed in the, late in the season.
Yeah, and that's very true. Very, very true. And the idea that they can step right in and be plugged in, be sort of like we go to Windows 11 here, be plug and play. That's what they've been able to accomplish. And it's, I think, a tribute to the coaching staff in Milwaukee and the players themselves, and, of course, the coaching staff here.
Pete, have you ever seen a team that can score back-to-back as quickly as these Predators have done so in the last couple of games? I mean, 74 seconds against Buffalo, and then what was it like?
The Colorado game?
The Colorado game where they scored in about 30 seconds. So, I mean, how wild is that?
It's wild enough to get my heartbeat going at a very high rate. I'll put it that way for you. And thankfully, my cardiac episode was 9 years ago. So we've gone through that. We've taken the test of time and have passed that. But I'm more than happy to accommodate even quicker times
if necessary.
We'd love to try it.
Oh man, it was wild. I was like, God, these guys score so quick. I don't know even. I mean, there was at one point I put my phone back in my wallet or back in my pocket after pulling it out and seeing that we had scored a goal. And as soon as I pulled it back out to see something else, we'd scored again. I was like, what in the world is going on right now? The Predators can't. they can't be stopped. So it's been wild. But
that was against a very good team in Colorado too.
Oh gosh, yes.
Which has made it even more special.
Division leader, Avalanche in the Western Central. So, yeah, looking forward to another great one tonight. Hopefully, again, the Preds can get a win over the hated Blackhawks. Obviously, always good when you can send them home with a loss. But we'll be listening for it with the golden tones of Pete Weber.
Thank you.
Thank you again for taking time with us, and congratulations once again on 2,000 broadcasts, and we hope there's many, many more to come.
Much appreciated. Thank you for the invitation to be on the show. And you know it's a good night if you don't hear that Blackhawks goal song, Chelsea Dagger, played at all.
Gross.
Yes.
Gross. But
yeah.
Pete, have a good one,
Thank
and
you.
Enjoy this evening.
Will do. Anyway.
We'll take a break. When we come back, college football, transfer portal, some additional news being reported by Yahoo and The Athletic. So we'll get into that a little bit as well. All of that coming your way here in just a few moments on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA. With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Maurice Patton here on this Top 5 Tuesday. We got the S. We got the S put back in, so that's always good. Top 5 today is going to be a lot of fun. The top 5 snubs in sports history. Just any snub. Could be an individual award, a team award, a bowl game, a playoff, an individual in general. Could be anything. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Right now, though, we're going to talk a little bit about the college football transfer portal. You know, and we mentioned it just before the final segment of yesterday's show got started and we got into Kelly Harper. But Destin and Keaton Wade, former Summit standouts, have entered the transfer portal out of Kentucky. And there is a story on MainStreetMurray.com about that. You should certainly check out, as Dad Steve Wade had plenty of things to say that is worthy of reading. But it's not just the transfer portal that's getting Kentucky right now. You mentioned Elijah Groves earlier. I gotta wonder what's going on in Lexington right now.
It seems like there's something going on now. I don't know if Destin and Keaton's situation is related to, you know, in any way, shape, or form, Elijah Groves'
If it's
situation.
not, that's worse for Kentucky, right?
But let me just say something. We talk a lot on this show about fan bases and unrealistic opinions of themselves and that kind of
expectations.
The reaction of the Kentucky fan base, and I hesitate to paint in such broad strokes, but various members of the Kentucky fan base have made comments regarding the one start made by a true freshman in a bowl game against one of the top 3 defenses in the country as proof positive that he can't play quarterback in the Southeastern Conference.
With that offensive line?
And it's some of the stupidest stuff I've ever heard.
I'll tell you this.
I mean, and say what you will about what Steve Wade said in that article. Helicopter parenting or whatever else. But when he said that they didn't give him a chance to redeem himself,
he ain't wrong.
That's absolutely right.
That's factual
because
information.
I mean, going to the UK Wildcats website, I don't see any 2023 stats for Destin Wade. So if he played, he didn't complete a pass and he didn't have a rushing attempt. If that game is the only game he played in and it was the first game he played in, then shame on them.
No, and I think I think it is. And I think you're exactly right. But I also think that sometimes fans are justifying and coping with something like this by lashing out against the kid rather than,
why not just say, sorry, it didn't work. Best of luck in your next stop.
You know, you're exactly right. There's no reason that you can't just take the high road, say, hey, you know.
You don't even have to take the high road. Just those kids have made their decision. Let them go on about their business. Why you got to say anything?
I think it is a lot to do with who are we talking with. I guess it might have been, it might have been yesterday. But when you go into the transfer portal and get a quarterback, you feel obligated to play that kid. And I don't know, it's wild to me that you wouldn't, because I'm going to be honest with you, if Devin Leary was their best option at quarterback this year,
if he was truly their best option, then their options weren't great. Because he wasn't. 23 touchdowns and 10 picks.
And maybe maybe Destin wasn't. I don't know. But I've seen Destin Wade.
How do you know?
I've seen Destin Wade play quarterback at a very high level. Here's one thing. I don't think that Kentucky's offensive scheme
did him
last year or this year is the type of offense that Destin Wade would be most effective running.
Mm-hmm.
I tweeted it that I would love to have seen him in Heupel's offense. I think he would have been dynamic in that offense. I think, and I'm not just saying this because it's Jacksonville State, but I think in a Rich Rodriguez type offense, what we saw Pat White run at West Virginia would be absolutely right up his alley. He's the type
somewhere where you're utilizing all of his strengths.
His athleticism, all of his athleticism, both his arm strength, which he has,
mm-hmm.
and his ability to make plays.
And
with
that's
his
the
legs.
one thing that we saw over the course of his high school career at Summit. He became, I wouldn't say less of a running quarterback,
right.
But he became more of a threat in the passing game as he progressed. And he can throw the ball.
He can throw it. And so it just blows my mind that.
But
I think there's a problem in Kentucky. I really do.
Well, and their fans are part of it, because if you feel comfortable judging a true freshman quarterback in one game against one of the top 3 defenses in the country, then hey, have at it.
And oh, by the way, their coach was leaving. He was leaving. He was gone. He was going to Texas A&M. And if you're a recruit and you don't think that means something, clearly they do think it means something.
Why do I want to come play for you when you don't even know if you're going to be there?
Exactly.
If you want to be there.
Do you want to be at Kentucky? Doesn't seem like it. Why would I want to be there?
Right.
There's a problem in Kentucky.
Well,
that being said,
it couldn't happen to a better set of fans.
They're out of quarterbacks.
Yeah, because Leary's gone.
Leary's gone. Wade's gone.
Is Kyle Sheeran gone?
I don't know.
Well, they seem to feel like they're going to get Brock Vandegrift, who is in the portal out of Georgia.
That's the thing. They're going to go into the portal and get another quarterback. Is that sustainable? I mean, I guess Vandegrift is a.
Well, I mean, I guess as many quarterbacks as there are in the portal, you can get one every year. If you can get one every year.
Vandergrift's a redshirt sophomore. He's got 2 years of eligibility, so that at least gives you a couple years.
How many quarterbacks are we up to now?
Honestly, honest to God, I have no idea.
No, Vanderbilt's got 3.
There are 1,030 players in the portal according to On3. You like that attribution we gave them?
Turnabout is fair play.
Turnabout's fair play. There you go. Iowa has 2 quarterbacks in the transfer portal.
That's just what you want is an Iowa quarterback.
Spencer Petras is headed to Utah State. His backup, who couldn't get on the field for the Iowa offense, Jay Labas, redshirt sophomore out of Broadview Heights, Ohio, is also in the portal.
That kid that we talked about last week from New Hampshire did, in fact, go to Minnesota.
Good. But yeah, there are a lot of quarterbacks in here, and I don't know who the most coveted quarterback is going to be
Out of the portal?
out of the portal.
Again, Dylan Gabriel is in there.
Well, and again, I think Dylan Gabriel is a Jeff Lebby guy. I don't think he was an Oklahoma guy, so I would not be surprised if he ends up at Mississippi State.
Now, does Mike Wright still have some
I think
eligibility?
he does.
And he's not.
He's
in
not
the
in the
portal.
portal. No,
One of the few. Honk if you're not in the
and
portal.
Chris Parson is still down there for now. So they've got quarterback
If he's
options.
down there for now, he's going to be there because the
Probably.
deadline was yesterday.
Yeah, the probably, well, they can. I think they can go in the spring, but that's not when you want to go.
No, you don't want to go after spring practice.
Right. So there are some definitely some interesting names in this portal, man. And guys, like I told you on this On3, they have the new star rankings based off of what you've done in college. And I think if you didn't play, you lost a star. but I mean, there are some interesting names like both of the Kansas State guys we talked about. Dylan Gabriel is in there. There was somebody else, a big name, and I can't remember who it was. Oh man, that's gonna
At quarterback?
frustrate me. There was a second, and maybe it was Cam Ward that we were talking about. Maybe
We were
that was-
talking about Cam
Maybe
Ward.
that was the name I'm thinking of, but I felt like there was a big name. Tevin Carter.
Oh yeah, from Memphis. Yeah, we talked about him last week. I think.
is in the portal. But outside of the Vanderbilt quarterbacks, they lost both their receivers. So not only do they not have anybody to throw it, they ain't got nobody to
Oh
throw
yeah,
to.
they lost Will
Shepard.
Yes.
Both Will Shepard and
The kid from CPA, London
yes,
Humphreys.
London Humphreys. Man. Things on West End not looking great either.
They're
right
not
now.
looking great. And Will Shepard is a big loss.
Will Shepard is a big
Of course,
loss.
I mean, if you don't know who's going to throw you the ball, then why are you sticking around?
Again, plenty of folks in the portal. I mean, you would think. And did you happen to hear Washington State coach about on his thoughts on Cam Ward entering the portal?
Mm-mm.
He basically said, it's our job to help Cam Ward make a living playing quarterback. We felt like we helped him get to that point this year. And if there's a way for him to make millions of dollars as a quarterback somewhere,
By leaving here?
then that's what we want him to do. And we will help him do that however is necessary.
Good for him.
And what a great way for a coach to react to this type of situation.
It's awesome.
And here's the thing. If that's how he's going to act about Cam Ward leaving, I want to go play for them.
Yep.
So now the next quarterback that comes in is going to feel comfortable that he's going to be accepted, and they're going to do everything they can to make him successful.
The next quarterback that comes in from the transfer portal is going to be comfortable doing so, and the next high school quarterback that they sign is going to feel comfortable that these guys are going to do all that they can to help me. And if that means me leaving, then that too.
And I think that's huge. I really do.
Well, I mean, you hear a lot of coaches tell you that they're for the kids, when in reality, they're for the kids as long as the kids are for them.
That's right. Max Johnson to North Carolina as a grad transfer.
Oh, goodness.
Be interesting if he plays.
Mm.
Cole Snyder from Buffalo is a 38% crystal ball to Vanderbilt.
Is he a quarterback? Cole Snyder from Buffalo?
That
The Bulls.
out of Jamestown, New York.
From the MAC.
So
It's interesting.
just take that.
Well, I mean, they got to have somebody.
exactly.
Or run the single wing, one or the other. I don't know.
Or run the single wing. That may be it. Oh man, but yeah, how about that? I don't know. Here are some things that I think Tennessee's going to have to look for, and that's wide receivers. I think wide receiver is where Tennessee wants to go get some folks.
What about defensive secondary?
I think secondary is necessary as well, but they've had really good success with receivers in the portal outside of both of them getting hurt last year. But
Well,
you can't be mad at them for getting hurt.
Well,
So,
you can't be mad at them for getting hurt, but the guy from Oregon, Dante,
I wish you hadn't said Dante. I probably would have been able to call it, but I don't.
yeah, number one. I mean, he wasn't great before he got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, he was. That catch he made on the play he got hurt was great, though.
What week was that again?
That was 11. That was against. Was it Kentucky or
Dante Thornton.
Thornton? That's it. I think it was against Kentucky. But yeah, he was.
I mean, he wasn't nearly as impactful as you would have anticipated.
Certainly wanted him to be a little more impactful, especially after Brew McCoy. That being said, there are some folks out there that I would be interested to see, Tennessee go after, including London Humphreys and Will Shepherd.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So I'll be curious to see how things go in that regard for Tennessee.
Meanwhile, to bring it full circle, new coach coming in at MTSU. Indications are we should probably get an announcement in the next 24 hours, if not sooner. Obviously not before 4 o'clock because we never get to break news. But I would hope that one of the first calls made by the new Blue Raiders coach is to a couple of kids that played their high school ball in Spring Hill.
It would behoove them to make a phone call. Because here's the thing, if nothing else, Destin Wade and Josh Heupel's offense would be unstoppable. But short of them going to somewhere like Tennessee, I would love to see them at Middle, at Jacksonville, somewhere that I can go see them play on a consistent basis,
somewhere
and
that
somewhere
they
can
can
be
go play.
impactful.
Mm-hmm.
And they would be impactful on day one. Zero question that both of those players would be impactful on day one. And so I agree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I would hate to see them play against Jacksonville State because I know what they're capable of doing,
Mm-hmm.
I want to see them play. I want to see them be an impact player somewhere, and I hope that they are able to find a place that gives them the opportunity to do just that.
Right.
Let's take a break. Terry McCormick's on the other side. We'll get back in just a moment and talk Titans right after this.
He shoots and he scores!
Since 1975, Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic has treated the orthopedic needs of Middle Tennessee residents. The trained physicians provide surgical options and minimally invasive options to treat all orthopedic needs. The walk-in clinic, OrthoQuick, helps you bypass the ER while treating sports injuries and acute needs Monday through Saturday. Visit MTBJ online at mtbj.net or on social media at Mid-Tennessee Bone Joint Clinic. Here at the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame, enjoy free admission all month thanks to the Tennessee Lottery. And we're looking forward to another hour of the show, including the top of the hour Titans report with Terry McCormick. Terry, how are you? Can we get him in?
Hey, Terry.
There he is. What's up, man?
How you doing, guys? It is your Zen Sports Titans report, powered as always by Zen Sports. Titans, well, at some point here in the next little while, I expect them to make an announcement that they've added a punter back to the roster because obviously they're going to need one. The thing of this is, with the punter situation, Tom Quinn, one of his first chores is going to have to be the adjustment that's going to have to be made on the punt cover team, just to adjust to this new guy that's going to be coming in, because you're going from having maybe the best punter in the league in terms of distance and in terms of just being able to put a foot on the ball and boom it, to somebody who's been on the street that obviously is not nearly as good. I mean, you're probably giving up an average of 5 to 10 yards a punt minimum when you bring somebody else in. And that's going to be something that the coverage units are going to have to adjust to for the final 5 games.
Going to be interesting. And like you said, you're giving up 5 to 10 yards a punt, and then those punts are going to be a bit more returnable as well, you would think. So it's going to be a different dynamic in the punt game for sure. Tough position for the new special teams coordinator to be in.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, it's going to be interesting. One of the things that I think was a positive that came out of the Colts game, and I know you guys are probably shaking your head going, what positive? But
well, I mean, they almost scored 30 points for the first time in forever.
This is true.
Oh.
And the thing that where I was going with this is that this team has not quit playing hard for Mike Vrabel. They've been depleted. They've had all kinds of craziness go on, especially in that game, but they're still playing hard for Mike Vrabel. I know, and maybe that was kind of Custer's last stand because, they were in a situation where had they won that ball game, they would have been on the fringe of the wild card playoff chase. But now with a loss, it's almost certain that they're going to miss the playoffs and probably have a second straight losing season. But the guys who are in that locker room and on that field have been playing hard for Vrabel, and Sunday was a good indication. It's going to be interesting to see if they can continue that level of effort over the final 5 games when there's nothing to play for, and you're also going to be without one of your top players and your leader in Jeffrey Simmons, who, by the way, was the team's nominee for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award today.
Meanwhile, any more word on Derrick Henry to this point?
No, but I think the news that we got on Henry yesterday was pretty good. Sounds like he's going to be able to practice by not being in the concussion protocol. They'll monitor him, but he won't have to, pass any baseline test or anything like that unless he has some belated symptoms that grow worse, through the course of the week. So I would expect him to be a go.
That's always good.
Yeah, Derrick Henry, and speaking of Derrick Henry, and obviously this is way down the road, but, the way that he's performed last year and this year behind this offensive line, if he wants to be back in Tennessee, should the Titans sign him to another short deal?
See, I'm in the camp that says yes, because I think he means more to the Titans than he does probably almost any other team, even though if he comes back, he's going to be a complimentary piece. You're not going to build the offense around a 30-year-old running back. But I'm of the belief that if he wants to come back and they have a role for him, I still think he's a valuable piece to what they do, especially when you're trying to develop a young quarterback in Will Levis and do things to protect him. And besides blocking, what's the best thing that can protect a young quarterback? A good running game. So to my way of thinking, I think the smart thing to do would be to offer Derrick Henry the opportunity to come back, set your franchise record for rushing yards, which should put a few butts in seats, which they're always in favor of, and go with it from there, knowing that you're going to turn the corner and try to make this more of a Will Levis-centric team and use Tajay Spears more as your every down back.
That makes sense. One other thing out of Sunday, Terry, had to be pleased that Traylon Burks was able to play as much as he did, and I take it that he's not shown any ill effects from Sunday to this point.
Yeah, apparently not. He only played about 10 snaps. And that was the other thing, too, that people were kind of wondering about. People had asked why Kyle Phillips was inactive, and they went with Colton Dowell. Well, Colton Dowell has value on special teams. I think the decision came down to Traylon Burks or Kyle Phillips, and they went with Traylon Burks to try and get him back and get his feet back wet and used to playing after 3 weeks out with that concussion. So going to have an interesting decision to make this week as far as who's up and who's not at the receiver position.
Terry, as always, we appreciate it, and we will talk to you again tomorrow. But for now, tell us about Zen Sports.
All right, gladly. Excuse me. Hey, Nashville, you've been hearing me talk about Zen Sports, the new sports betting app exclusively in Tennessee the last few months, and I'm excited to share with you some big news. Now, when you first sign up for a Zen Sports account, you will receive up to $1,000 no danger first wager. That's right. When you place your first bet in Zen Sports with up to plus 500 odds, you can be reimbursed for the amount of your bet up to a $1,000 maximum within 24 hours if the bet loses. And there's more good news. Zen Sports is rolling out its brand new VIP rewards program. This new VIP rewards program will allow top-tier customers to earn more bonuses, comps, and perks. The VIP program is by invite only, so if you feel your Zen Sports play qualifies for VIP consideration, check out program details and apply at zensports.com/VIP. No other sportsbook will offer you a premier sports betting experience with 24/7 top-tier customer support and faster withdrawals than Zen Sports. So what are you waiting for? Get going and download their app at zensports.com today. Zen Sports, betting just got better. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and older and in Tennessee to bet.
Smiles. These are the healthy smiles of real Delta Dental members. Folks with access to the nation's largest network of dentists and low-deductible plans with 100% preventive care coverage, all backed by over 65 years of expertise. Go online or give us a call to learn about affordable individual plans that meet your needs. 1-855-844-0445.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat.
She's on Thinking Out Loud, presented by Regions, and Out of Pocket with Alyssa Lang. It is, in fact, Alyssa Lang.
I'm a little nervous. I'm going to lower the bar for guests now.
Oh, no.
Apologies in advance. It sounds like
SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey.
You got that radio voice.
I do.
It's a good sounding
for radio too.
As do we. And then here's the other thing. You guys, you're spot on with the name. Everybody wants to be on Main Street. Everybody wants to be on Main Street. So,
and we reach every Main Street in Middle Tennessee, Coach.
Yeah, that's it. So
Perfect.
when you are on Main Street and you are moving,
you gotta love it.
Like you're moving. I was impressed.
I'm glad someone.
Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, live from the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame, the Mobile Lee Company studio in downtown Nashville inside Bridgestone Arena. There's a radio tower above us, around us. But man, what a great time to be here in downtown Nashville as the Mr. Football winners were announced earlier today. And of course, you can find full coverage on mainstreetpreps.com of that. We go now, however, to the college ranks where, well, we had Chip Walters. We do not have Chip Walters. We had him. We lost him. We'll get him back. He was driving, so I wonder if maybe he got to his destination and needed to.
Or maybe he just drove somewhere where connectivity was
very possible,
a little shaky.
So
he's
out and about
dealing with properties and that kind of thing, at Choose Chip. So maybe he was out in the hinterlands somewhere.
Well, they do have a game tonight at the Glass House. Do the men's Raiders as they welcome Missouri State and the Fighting Heather Williams.
The Fighting Heather Williamses, yes, sir. Yeah.
So that should be fun.
Is Dana Ford still over there?
I think so.
Former Tennessee State coach Dana Ford is the head coach of the Bears. So back in familiar territory.
Is in fact. We've got Chip on now. And welcome back, Chipper.
Sorry about that. I was actually crossing Center Hill Lake when it dipped in, where it dips down low between Sparta and Smithville. So
no towers in Center Hill Lake, huh?
No. But hopefully I'm back up on dry land now. So hopefully I can. I've got at least a few minutes here.
Awesome. We were just talking as you were off air. Missouri State coming to the Glass House tonight, coached by former Tennessee State coach Dana Ford. So, you got a guy who's got some particular familiarity with you guys and with this area, I would think.
Yeah, and they're good. They're 6-2, but they are coming off a loss to Drake. Middle is in a little bit of a downturn right now. Having lost 4 out of 5 and are 4-6 on the year. Talking to Coach McDevitt after the game the other night, one of the questions every game has been, how are you guys reacting, to the loss of Cam Weston for the year? And basically after the game the other night, he was talking that when Cam got hurt, they were in a string of, one of those 5 games and 8-day kind of deals that included 3 games in the Bahamas. And they were just trying to, patch the holes in the tire right then without Cam. And then this week, or actually last week when they got back from the Bahamas, they kind of reinstalled their offense, kind of starting from scratch on some things because of, the skill set that Cam had is not the skill set that Justin Porter has and not the same skill set that Jalen Jordan has. So they're trying to retool to take advantage of those guys, knowing that Cam Weston is not going to be walking through that door. So they have struggled to score points. And so and Coach McDevitt's thought on that is just lack of familiarity with the new things they have put in offensively. So hopefully another couple of days of practice, because not only do you have Missouri State tonight, you've got Belmont coming in Saturday night, and they're playing well also. So, Middle's going to have to play well tonight. So we need to that starts at 6:30. So I'm hustling back.
Missouri State tonight, like you said, Belmont Saturday. Next week, you've got a road trip to St. Mary's and Southern Utah. And so, when we talk,
that'll be in 2 weeks. Next week is basically an off week for exams.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, if I could
Yeah.
read, I'd be dangerous. Yeah, December
That's fine,
19th at St. Mary's, and that following Friday
I thought it
at
said
Southern
13th
Utah.
too.
Yeah, no, I just, But Chip, when we talked earlier in the year, and when we talked to Nick McDevitt earlier in the year, this was a challenging schedule at best, and so you knew that there were some lumps out there to potentially be taken, and certainly that's been the case, and losing Cam Weston doesn't help. But
No.
at the same time, there are some opportunities to get better for conference play, which begins January 11th when Louisiana Tech comes to town.
That's correct, and that's Justin Buford was on the post game show with us, and he basically said, he goes, yeah, we're struggling a little bit right now. He goes, but it's okay to struggle in December and November. That's where you learn about your team, and sounding very much like the veteran player that he is. He goes, we just want to make sure we get this thing right by the time January rolls around. So that's kind of where they are. But obviously, big night coming up tomorrow night for the women down in Huntsville, and you should have two pretty hungry basketball teams. The middle women coming off a loss at Belmont, and Tennessee got schooled at home by Ohio State the other night.
They really did. They really did.
Yeah.
Chip, when you say that, this is a UT team that is struggling. I mean, how big a win would this be for Middle Tennessee State if they were to get it tomorrow night?
Well, I think that may matter to a degree, but then again, it doesn't. The folks who do the net and all that kind of stuff, yeah, they're gonna be all the computers will take care of that part. But if it's that orange jersey and you win over it, that means a lot. That's huge, and that's that. I think they feel like that they have a team, especially when you have a post player like Boldreva, who is a legit 6'5", 6'6", and Grabovskaya, who is also that same size. That they have the type of team that's built that can play. You've got good guard play and Savannah Wheeler and Courtney Whitson and Jalen Gregory. So I think they feel good about the team they're taking in there. And was Sunday a look ahead? I don't know, but I know that I think there's a pretty high level of excitement for this game to be played tomorrow night down at the Von Braun Civic Center.
And for all the folks that you mentioned, you neglected to mention the reigning Conference USA Player of the Week, Tamia Scott.
That's correct, and that because I wanted you to be able to make that announcement, Mo. That's why I presented it that way.
There we go. Little lob pass there. I like it.
And but she's been playing really well, and obviously through this stretch as well she has. So that's going to be exciting. 6:30 tomorrow night. There's tickets still available, and you can order those through. I guess you go to goblueraiders.com/tickets, and you can find your way to be able to get those.
Speaking of accolades won by Middle Tennessee State athletes, all-conference team for football announced earlier today, and Keelan Rutledge on the offensive line, first team, and maybe one of the bigger upsets in this list. Tight end Holden Willis of Middle Tennessee State makes first team, while Jacksonville State tight end Sean Brown is second team. That's pretty high praise for Holden Willis.
It really is, and the thing is, Holden really came on in the second half of the season. I don't have stats in front of me, but if you go look at games 1 through 6 and then games 7 through 12, Holden, I would say his numbers are going to be at least twice what they were in the first half of the year. And again, this is kind of one of those deals that almost a reflection of the college football playoff. It's what have you done for me lately? And in this case, Holden really came on and was a huge part, and very versatile guy, had some big explosive plays. So, and just a terrific guy from Greenback, and we've talked about his athletic ability, throughout, the year and what all he did in high school. So, there's that. And you also, Brody Butler, don't forget that the Blue Raiders had the first team all conference long snapper. So, and a total of 9 guys got accolades today.
Yeah, and a little surprised to see nobody on the first team defense. Now, obviously, there were Quindarius Dunnigan, Sam Brumfield, and Teldrick Ross all on the second team defense, but particularly Ross played well enough to be first team. And so, again, what have you done for me lately? And a lot of Liberty flavor on these lists, but obviously, Middle had a great showing, like you said. And hopefully, when we get an announcement on a head coach, hopefully in the next 24 hours or so, we'll know a little bit more about where some of these guys who, like second team wide receiver Elijah Metcalf, stand.
Yeah, exactly. And the portal is open, and there were 1,100 guys went in the portal the first day yesterday. But there were guys who announced they were going into the portal. But signing day is not until the 20th. Correct. So, you can announce your intent to be in the portal, but whatever the announcement, is made in the next 24 hours or so of a new head coach, that might be, there might be some excitement there that leaving might be. You never know. But so there's that's
we lost
kind of where we are now, playing this little bit of the last part of this. So,
Chip, we'll let you get back to that phone call, and hopefully get back to Murfreesboro here very soon, so that you can have service for any future phone calls that you may need to take. But again, as always, we appreciate it. Again, what time are you going tonight?
Go on at 6, tip it at 6:30.
All right.
Get that Varsity Network app out and get it fired up.
Will Kyle be alongside?
Yes, he will. He had a big win last night, so he'll be happy.
Sounds good.
It's always
the golden tones of Chip Walters and Kyle Turnham, Mike's side for MTSU and Missouri State. Chip, we appreciate it.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back,
real quick.
Okay.
Real quick. Lipscomb Academy has named a head coach.
Well, and that's what we were hoping to maybe talk with Russell Venozzi in the next segment at some point. We did give him the link, so if he joins us, we'll get a little bit more information, a little more insight into that head coach, and we'll tell you who it is on the other side of the break. Stick around. Main Street Sports State, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joints. Back in just a moment.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you. No matter what's happening in the world, or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Hey, welcome back to Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Maurice Patton, and we have some breaking news. Lipscomb Academy has hired a football coach.
They have indeed, and he is a name that a lot of folks in Nashville will be familiar with from his high school two-sport career at Whites Creek to his collegiate career at Vanderbilt, where he played receiver and played a little basketball over there as well. Jamie Graham, the new head coach at Lipscomb Academy. He was on staff with Trent Dilfer, followed Dilfer to UAB, and he was down there this past year, and he's coming home. And I think it's a great hire.
Are you surprised that they went with someone who has ties to Dilfer based off of the issues they're dealing with? I mean, I know that Jamie's a completely different person. He's his own person, but in what they're dealing with the TSSAA and the trying to get the waiver to play in the playoffs next year may have gone a long way if they said, "Hey, we're cutting ties with all of this right now." I don't know. Are you surprised they went to that tree?
The tree. Possibly the leaf. No, I mean, somebody was going to hire Jamie Graham at some point. He's going to be a great coach.
Sure.
And so I maybe would have expected them to go with with a coach with head coaching experience. I don't know that I would have necessarily expected them to hire a first-time head coach, but I don't look at Jamie necessarily as a Trent Dilfer product or a connection to. I kind of.
He's a Nashville guy who happened to be on Dilfer's staff, not a Dilfer guy.
Yeah. I kind of take him as his own entity, and like I said, I think I give kudos to Lipscomb, to their decision makers for recognizing that this guy's going to be good. I think he really relates to kids well. I think he really relates to people outside the program well. I just think he's dynamic. He's the type of guy that you want representing your program, I think. I just think he's a great hire.
Third straight first-time head coach hire. First one without NFL experience.
Yeah.
But I mean, certainly a guy who is up and coming in the coaching ranks, and And I think it's fantastic for him to get this opportunity. I'm a little surprised that they went with someone who had any ties whatsoever to the last two coaching staffs, based on what they're dealing with in the TSSAA situation.
I don't know how much it will impact that one way or the other. And I understand what you're saying. What you're saying makes sense. I just don't know how much of an impact that'll be, or how much the TSSAA will consider that in whatever decision they make with regards to Lipscomb's transgressions.
Mm-hmm.
So
will be interesting. Congrats to Jamie Graham.
Mm-hmm. And congrats to Lipscomb for getting it dealt with. I mean, as the coaching carousel was getting started,
it is
for them to go ahead and,
like we said, we kind of expect Brentwood Academy to go in a direction that is, more Brentwood Academy with some connection somehow.
I think the next name will be more recognizable than the last name.
Right. And I think that's, I just don't know that I necessarily expected Lipscomb Academy to do that this time around, but certainly a fantastic hire. And I think he's going to be a great coach. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
If we are able to get Russell Venozzi on and talk a little bit more in depth about what he saw at today's press conference that was held at 3:00, then great. If not, that's okay too. Right now.
Yeah, because if we don't get Russell, we'll probably just get Jamie in the next couple of days.
Well, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the National Football League. We did not get a chance to react yesterday at all to the NFL, and I have some questions. Number one, before we get into the questions, the New England Patriots took their throwback game a little too seriously and played 1960 offense in a 6-0 loss to the Los Angeles Chargers.
There you go.
I mean, 6-0.
Man, are we seeing the end of Bill Belichick?
Absolutely. 100%. I saw someone the other day, this go back to college, but someone said that the Belichick-Saban friendship was finally going to reap some positives for Saban, because Belichick will know where they might have hidden all the cameras. Wow. That's a great tweet. I don't care who you are. But yeah, I think so. I mean, I think this has got to be it. I mean, look, and Bill Belichick's a Hall of Famer, and it's hard to fire a Hall of Famer. But if you don't do something soon.
What's the line? What? You die a hero or you live long enough to become a villain?
100%. And, a lot of people are saying similar things about Mike Tomlin, that it's time for him to go. And I don't know that that's necessarily the case. I mean, the guy is 2 years removed from a quarterback who played his entire career. Tomlin and Roethlisberger were there from day one together. So
I don't think Tomlin's situation is as bad as Belichick's
not
situation.
Even close.
And here's the thing. I wish Pittsburgh would fire Mike Tomlin.
There's a lot of people
just to see how quickly he gets a job.
Oh, he would be very highly sought after.
He would have a job before they had his successor hired.
And I don't think that Tomlin is in that situation. We're talking about, the thing that's different about Belichick is that he has a lot of control over his roster. And he and I have a lot in common in that we like to reach. And, my fantasy football team, I may have reached quite a bit in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds.
Man, reached a little too far.
And I'm paying for it. I mean, I'm dead last in the league. It is what it is. But he's doing the same thing. Reaching. I don't think Mac Jones is a terrible quarterback prospect. I think that in the right system, he could be very good, but they don't have a running game at all. They like to use slot receivers way too much, and they don't have very good ones right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Malik
historically,
Cunningham is on their roster. And as bad as their offensive line is, you'd think they'd play a guy who could, extend plays
and protect himself.
So I'm just saying, it seems silly that I think Mac Jones could potentially be a guy who makes sense at the quarterback position, even for New England. Maybe not, but even for them. But a new coach has got to be. They've got to get rid of Bill Belichick.
Hmm.
Now, please don't get rid of Bill Belichick if you're Titans fans are hey, we'd like to do good things first before they get to looking for a coach. But I think it's time.
The Patriots aren't on the Titans' schedule, are they?
No.
That's unfortunate.
We could use a dub.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Patriots struggling. And that is an understatement.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Jody's Packers looking like a playoff team.
You remember when we talked about their GM having
said
concerns about whether or not Jordan Love was their quarterback going past this year?
I think those concerns are getting
I would
answered.
like to think they've been put to rest.
One would think.
Kid's been playing lights out.
And maybe that's what he needed. You never know what somebody needs to motivate them. Perhaps that was what he needed to motivate him.
Well,
but
if that was the case, then kudos to them.
It worked because the Packers are 6-6 and right in the hunt for a playoff spot. Tied for what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Tied for 5th right now in the league with the Vikings, Rams, Seahawks.
Yeah, and the Vikings obviously,
and the Falcons, who are leading the NFC South at 6-6.
A lot of teams with quarterback issues in that phrase that you just made. Vikings, Falcons.
Yeah. I think the Rams probably have some quarterback issues too, and they certainly have an offensive issue. But the Seahawks have been less than stellar to this point. And again, Packers are on a 3-game win streak. They are trending upward while, so are the Rams, but Seahawks trending down, Vikings trending down. Seems like they're right there, in the mix for a potential playoff spot if they just continue doing what they're doing. Does this team make the playoffs? How many teams make the playoffs? You got 6?
7.
6 plus 1? So
7.
Yeah. Okay. I think they got a shot.
They being
the Packers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
the NFC is a struggle bus.
Past the 49ers and the Eagles. Yeah.
And the Eagles got absolutely drubbed.
Yeah, there's a pretty big gap between 1 and 2, it seems like.
Yeah, and yet the Eagles currently the number 1 seed with a 10-2 record because they get to play the Giants and Commanders. And of course, the Cowboys also in there.
What are the Niners?
9-3. Okay. So, I mean, more likely than not that they probably find their way to the best record in the NFC. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what the rest of their schedule looks like. It's the Seahawks, Cardinals, Commanders, and Rams. Yeah. I don't know that they lose another game. They play the Ravens in there, and the Ravens aren't great. I don't know that the 49ers lose another game.
May not.
I mean, this team could be 14-3 going into the playoffs. So. Also, Tyreek Hill maybe a legitimate MVP candidate.
When's the last time a receiver was MVP?
That I would love to know. But has been as impactful a player as anybody could want this year for the Dolphins. 93 catches, almost 1,500 yards, 12 touchdowns, which is 3 off of his career high of 15. This matches the second highest number he ever put up in Kansas City already, and he's only 12 games in.
He's still got 5 games to play.
Still got 5 games to play. So Tyreek Hill, and again, I know that it was the Commanders. 5 catches, 157 and 2 touchdowns.
5 catches, 157.
That's a 31.5 yard average. Of course, one of them was 78 yards.
Still.
But he looks great, man. And after what we saw Sunday night with the 49ers and Eagles, I don't think Jalen Hurts is the front runner anymore.
A wide receiver has never.
Not never
been named.
Not even Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice by the Sporting News.
Well, that don't count.
In 1987. Well, actually, the Sporting News, Pro Football Writers Association, and Jim Thorpe.
Okay, I'll give him the Pro Football Writers Association.
Okay. In 87. At no other time has a wide receiver been named NFL MVP by anyone that names one. So.
That's impressive. I expect him to be in there. I mean, in the conversation, so long as he continues this, this pace.
Well, I mean, if he winds up with 125 catches for 2,000 yards, something like that, then it's almost
a given.
Impossible. And Miami continues to be, in the mix for maybe a number 1 seed.
And especially when you're talking about some of the there's Russell Venozzi, by the way.
Okay.
Some of the other names that are on the list, it's almost like when Devontae Smith won the Heisman, there just weren't a lot of great quarterback numbers out there.
Right.
You think about Cam Akers having a bad year. You think about Austin Eckler, not having a great year. It just seems like this would be the perfect time. Right. And he's eating in the perfect year.
Big time.
So let's go to Russell real quick and get a little bit of information on the new Lipscomb Academy football coach. Russell, are you? Oh, we just lost him.
You may try to get him back.
Yeah,
Please.
See if we can get him back. And
Gotcha.
We'll talk to Russell here. But I think I think this is the time, the perfect time. Other NFL things going on. The Titans released Monty Rice.
Yeah.
And I think he and the Titans may have had the same tweet following that. Thank God.
That's bizarre to me.
Bizarre indeed.
And I don't know why he would say that, but okay.
He wasn't very good. The Titans weren't good for him. It just wasn't a really good match. So
I guess.
Russell Venozzi joins us now as he is again. What's up, Russell? How are you?
Hey guys, happy to be here.
Russell hasn't ditched that tie from the Mr. Football luncheon yet.
Looking
I'm
good.
a little surprised.
No, it's been quite a scramble today. We made it. Just wrapped up at the Lipscomb Academy football press conference, and now I've got a bunch of stories to write this afternoon, so I'm excited.
That's why you make the big bucks. So, Russell, tell us I've known Jamie since he was in high school, but tell us what Lipscomb said in explaining why he was their guy.
Yeah, I was just talking to head of school Brad Schultz a few minutes ago, and he said that when they talked to Jamie about the job, that he was really everything that they were looking for. They wanted somebody who could connect with the students here, the student athletes here. They wanted somebody who could bring, a lot of energy. Wanted somebody who could that wanted to be here and wanted. I thought this was interesting. Didn't want to use this job as maybe a stepping stool to something else. We've kind of heard this before, but the quote was that they think Jamie will retire here, and of course we've got to be skeptical of that. He's only 35. Don't want to paint him into that corner yet. And of course, the last couple of Lipscomb coaches have said something similar. Trent Dilfer and Kevin Mawai, and they both, of course, have left under different circumstances. But I think they like the fact that
retired. But
you really do back yourself into a corner. And we were talking about this earlier at Mr. Football, when you speak in absolutes like that. But that was the line that they were giving today, and certainly he was successful here as a wide receivers coach for 3 seasons under Trent Dilfer. And then that final season in 2022, he was the offensive coordinator. And I don't have their offensive stats from that year in front of me right now, but I know they had a prolific season, of course, with Hank Brown stepping in as the quarterback that season. And they completely mowed down their competition en route to beating CPA there for, I think it was 42-0 for the Division II AA state title. So, and after that, he, of course, followed Trent down to UAB. And less than 1 year later, he's back here in Nashville to his hometown.
Man, it's really jarring when I hear you say that Jamie is 35 years old. But was there any concern about him not having been a head coach before?
I didn't sense any concern there. Of course, I'm sure there's going to be some learning on the job because, as you guys know, it is a little bit different when you're no longer making suggestions. You're no longer just responsible for one side of the ball. You've got to be on top of everything. And so I think that will probably be an adjustment period for him. But no, they didn't express any qualms. I think Brad Schultz said they had over 45 applications for the job. And, Jamie's resume really stuck out to them for what he was able to do, on the field as an athlete. And because many of the football players here, of course, want to do what he did and move on to the college ranks. But yeah, and then they were also, I think they just wanted some familiarity and some stability here after everything that they've sort of been through over the last year. So no, I didn't hear any concerns there about him not having been a head coach before.
And this is the question I asked Mo, but are you surprised that they went with someone with some connection to the school to, considering the situation that they are in with the TSSAA, or was this just a no-brainer?
I think it would have been a bigger surprise, shock probably, if they had promoted somebody from within, from the 2023 staff that was a part of those violations. But as far as we know, all those previous teams under Dilfer, of course, were not. There was no TSSAA charges or allegations or violations under that staff. So, for them to sort of reconnect with some of the success they've had in the past, as recently as a little over a year ago under with Trent Dilfer's staff, I think maybe that was something exciting for them to kind of bring back some of that magic that they had under Dilfer. And Jamie was talking about how he's really focused on making sure the kids are focused on football, focused on school, and I think they want to clean up their act here as much as possible and distance themselves from what was a pretty forgettable 2023 season.
Well, Russell, we appreciate it and look forward to reading the story on Main Street Preps that I know is coming. So thank you again for taking time with us and give us a little bit more insight.
All righty, gentlemen. Happy to do it. Thanks.
We'll take our final break of the day. When we come back, the top 5 biggest snubs in sports history.
Can't imagine where that idea came from.
Who will they be? I'll tell you right after this on Main Street Sports Today. Stick around.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA. With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
All right, welcome back in. Time now for the top 5 biggest snubs in sports history. It is Top 5 Tuesday, thanks to our friends at Mid-South 5 Fitness. Dallas Steele and the fine folks there. SteelAthletes.com, at SteelAthletes on Instagram. So go check them out. Let's get into it, and we'll start with the Google number generator. All right.
So again, this idea came from the obvious snub of Florida State from the college football playoff over the weekend. So because we're nothing if not original.
Here you go. Justin, you're number 1. Mo, you'll be number 2.
All right.
And I'll be number 3. All right. So Justin, go ahead. You got number 1 pick. Go.
I'm going to go Michael Jordan and his high school basketball team.
Good call.
Getting cut, what, his sophomore year?
Freshman.
Freshman year? Okay.
At least it was that.
Yeah. He did okay after that.
I'm going way back. Jim Brown in the 56 Heisman Trophy that went to Paul Hornung, quarterback for 2-8 Notre Dame, 3 touchdowns, 13 picks.
Ooh.
Good call.
Yeah.
I don't even need to know Jim Brown's stats. I know he didn't.
No. Those are all the stats you need.
I'm gonna go with this one, even though I could probably get it a little bit later, but it is my number 1, and it's Andrew Jones not being in the Hall of Fame.
Scratch.
It was on the list somewhere. Justin, I'm sorry. No, it's my turn.
It is.
Okay. Well, speaking of Notre Dame people getting the Heisman over more deserving players, I'm going to go with Johnny Majors.
That was that same year.
Look at there.
That was the same year. 56.
And yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Could have went Jim Brown. Could have went Johnny Majors.
Yeah.
Instead, you gave it to that guy.
That guy. Okay.
Continue.
My number 2. Have you seen the documentary on ESPN Unapologetic?
No.
Candace Parker. I watched it late one night a couple weeks ago. Candace Parker getting left off the 2016 Olympics team.
Yes, absolutely.
Justin?
So I got the next 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of them is Marshall Faulk over Gino Toretta Heisman. Once I learned that Marshall Faulk was also in those 3, I was like, how did he not win it? was an animal then, but or was there NFL as well. Second one would be Herschel Walker, also getting snubbed for the 1980 Heisman. Dude at Georgia was crazy. Like, just the way he ran, I mean, it's a machine. That year, too, especially.
He was, in fact.
My turn. I'm going to go with Dr. J leaving LeBron James off of his 10 greatest NBA players.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. J.
Yeah.
Talk your talk.
Hey, and he's got the right. Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, Elgin Baylor, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, Michael Jordan, Kareem, Magic, Karl Malone, Tiny Archibald.
Once again, I would like to say Larry Bird does not get the love he deserves.
There's a snub as well, actually. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Larry Bird does not get the love he deserves. Anyway,
short time.
I've got 2 here. Let's go with number 1. Nolan Ryan never winning a Cy Young.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's absurd. Absurd.
That is absurd.
Okay, because his team sucks. It's not his fault. And my number 4, we will go with the Joey Harrington 2001 Oregon Ducks not making the BCS championship after Nebraska got absolutely embarrassed by Colorado in the Big 12 championship game. And then Nebraska then getting embarrassed by Miami in the national championship game. And of course, Tennessee would have been in it, but they lost to a backup quarterback in LSU.
Matt Malk.
That's it.
Yep.
I knew it was a Matt, but I couldn't remember if it was Flynn or Malk.
It's Malk. My number 4 is Kobe Bryant losing the 2005-2006 MVP race to Steve Nash.
Yeah.
The stats lined up to each other are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Justin, you're 4 and 5.
4 and 5. I'm gonna go with John Elway snubbing the Colts in the draft.
I guess it does work both ways.
It does, in fact.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I will go with, just because I watched Dream Team before I watched The Last Dance, but I still think Isaiah Thomas being left off the original Dream Team in 1992 is just it's kind of ridiculous.
I mean, I get a little bit why, because they didn't want the infighting that would have most likely taken place.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, Isaiah was a jerk.
For sure.
And Michael, also a jerk. And you just can't have those two. I get it. And you can't leave Michael Jordan off the team. So
there you go. Yeah.
Is this Mo number 5?
My number 5. 2016 Big Ten champion Penn State being left out of the college football playoff in favor of Ohio State. Also from the Big Ten. Did not play for its championship.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
certainly interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if it's there, I'm going to take it. Peyton Manning.
98.
98 Heisman.
It's a good one.
I mean,
it's a good one.
Who won it instead?
Charles Woodson.
Oh.
Yeah.
First defensive player at that point, wasn't it?
I don't know if he was first. But
I don't know if he was first.
Certainly.
He may be the last.
Yeah, he's the most recent. No, no, it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 5, Justin. No, you already did your number 5.
Yeah.
Was I last?
You
I was
were last.
There we go. That's your top 5.
We're done.
Mid-South 5 Fitness, SteelAthletes.com, at SteelAthletes on Instagram. Come back with us tomorrow. We'll have Joe Sullivan
Joe Sullivan, not Joseph.
With a preview of Lipscomb Belmont, who will play for the
Battle of the Boulevard.
100 and maybe the 150th time, I think. I think it's 150th time that they're going to play.
Wow.
So pretty exciting stuff. We'll have Joe, we'll have Terry, and perhaps Matt Brown. We are hoping for Matt Brown. So come back tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Thanks again to the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame. You can come down here, free admission on Broadway. Thanks to the Tennessee Lottery. Anytime you want to come down, come see them. Thanks to you guys for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint.